Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Breaking the Ceiling, where you meet the entrepreneurs who've created legendary brands. And today we have a fantastic entrepreneur on board who is now become a legend in our country because he's the first one to open 140 restaurants, internet restaurants, in a matter of months. Right? He today runs 7 different kitchens, 140 internet restaurants, multiple different brands, and he's none other than the founder and CEO of Ghost Kitchens, Karan Tanna. Karan, welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you're on Breaking the Ceiling with me.
Hi Ashwin, so glad to be on the show. Thank you for having me and thank you for the introduction. It was very humbling.
So I think your introduction, you're somebody by then in the ecosystem who doesn't need much of an introduction. You're a well-known name. You're a celebrity already. You've already achieved so much at such a young age, which is fantastic. So, Karan, before we jump to Ghost Kitchens, I want to get to know you a little better. So, tell me your story till before you started Ghost Kitchens.
Sure, Ashwin, I will definitely love to share it. And of course, it's very kind of you to say the words that you said, but I think the industry is so dynamic, and at our age, we can't really measure success. It is just the learnings that we have got, and every year on year, we have to keep performing, to kind of retain what we have learned and keep on doing more. So I think that's been the major learning in FNB. I mean, we'll come to learning later on, but I think to be humble is very important, and this comes from my roots. I was born in a very small town called Veraval in Gujarat, in Somnath. And then my parents moved to Ahmedabad when I was in ninth standard, and I studied automobile engineering. And after automobile engineering, I worked for General Motors India and McKinsey and Company. Post which I took partnership in a company QSR chain called Kachi King in Gujarat, and they were the first one to modernize the retail of dabeli, which was a street food back then. And we grew from 0 to 200 stores in 3 years, all through franchising, cumulatively doing a GMV of upwards of 80 crores. And I took exit from that business. I moved to Mumbai to start Yellow Tie Hospitality. Yellow Tie was food and beverage franchise management company. So we signed a few international brands and F&B brands, and we created our own brands and grew to 120 stores, between around 10 brands in 18 cities, and cumulatively doing a GMV of 60 crores plus. I stepped down as a CEO. We recruited a CEO for operating the company full time, and then I started Ghost Kitchens. And because we had so much of experience of past 8 years and opening 400 stores, we could quickly scale up to 0 to 18 stores in 4 cities, with more than 150 internet restaurants in 9 months. So from May 2019 to March 2020. As on today, we have 4 kitchens. We did consolidate in and after pandemic. We decided to only have kitchens that have more kitchen throughput, and we have 4 kitchens that are doing cumulatively 30,000 plus orders, which means average of 7,500 orders per month per kitchen, and all of them are profitable. And the journey is very interesting because no company, including us, have established a proven model of a profitable cloud kitchen company at a scale. So we are trying to achieve that, and it's very challenging. There are a lot of learnings. It's a new business. Cloud kitchen cannot be a business which you can kind of pull back from the high street business and do the reverse calculations. It's a new business, new DNA, new vertical. It puts all the old timer restaurateurs and the new timer entrepreneurs on the same page, and neck to neck to fight. And if there is an entrepreneur who can adopt to the ways aggregator work, adopt to the technology, he can take a pie of the business. And people who are not able to adopt, they keep on complaining and finding faults. So we want to be the former and try to come up with a profitable, scalable cloud kitchen company. I think we have just started and excited.
I think that's a brilliant journey. I mean, so much learning that you must have had over the last 8 years. I'm smelling a book. I don't know why. I'm definitely smelling a book somewhere where whatever learnings you've had, I think it deserves a book somewhere to be able to share this with the next generation of entrepreneurs. So, Karan, tell me, what was the aha moment behind, Ghost Kitchens? What was the, like, why did you say, okay, I'll step down from Yellow Tie and, I'll start out Ghost Kitchen? What was that? What were you thinking at that
Well,
point?
to be honest, there was no aha moment as such. I mean, it was a lot of repent and regret that I did not focus on. No, to be honest, I did not focus on food delivery in Yellow Tie, and I thought I left behind. And then I started to realize that if not now, never. If I start running a company focused on retail and high street, but also try to take a pie of food delivery, it is not going to work out. So I finally decided to change the company, start a new company with a new DNA, with a thesis of fresh unit level economics. And the positive side was that there are today also not more then maybe two or three companies which are cloud kitchen or food delivery focused and doing 100 crore plus turnover. So there's still an opportunity. This is not a winners takes it all market. It's a 4 billion food delivery market as we speak today, growing at a high two digit CAGR. So there will be an opportunity for two, three, four, five companies, maybe 10 to be multi 100 crore companies. So I realized that I was late, and then that's why I decided not to do this on site but do this full time.
Fantastic. I think that takes a lot of courage, to be able to leave something that is running, right, and jump on to something completely new. I think, but that is already there in your DNA, right? You are a startup guy. You love. I'm assuming you love that energy and the thrill of starting something from scratch. I am one of those. Like I can't never rest on my laurels, because you've done something good. I need to keep doing something newer
Yeah.
and spend my time there. So I really appreciate that energy and enthusiasm that you have.
No,
So
thank you.
tell me the story behind the name Ghost Kitchen. Such an interesting name itself. The name itself, like makes you like, what? What did he say again? And it's a brilliant name. What is the story behind Ghost?
Well, Ashwin, our kitchens are virtual kitchens, cloud kitchens, dark kitchens, ghost kitchens, and this was a term which was used in global markets a lot. We started using and adopting to cloud kitchens as a industry. So I thought that there was an opportunity of using ghost kitchens as a company name in India, and so that the company becomes representative of what we want to do. And these kitchens are ghost, and they are internet restaurants, and the DNA and the vision of the company is to be an alternate kitchen to every Indian. So we want to be a digital kitchen to every Indian. If you get up one fine morning, I mean, after 10 years they say that we are not going to have kitchens. I see that happening earlier. So if you get up in the morning, have a dosa, in the afternoon maybe you eat a paratha, in the evening you order chai and nashta, and in the night maybe you order a biryani, and if it's a Saturday night, further late night, you want to order a pizza. I will hope that you order all of these from my different internet restaurants brand in that hyperlocal area. So I become your virtual kitchen virtually, right? So that's the idea, and that's why ghost kitchens, that you cannot see it, but it's a digitized internet, and that's what the world is today. It's digitized.
Fantastic. So tell me a few of the challenges that you faced when you started Ghost Kitchen.
Sure. I mean, when we are increasing the number of brands, the training needs at the outlet increases, to understand the aggregator, how they perform in terms of their dynamic real estates, banners that keep on changing, their funnel, how it operates in terms of, the visibility to menu conversions, menu to cart conversions, and cart to order conversions. What are the levers affecting it? And how does one be seen up the ladder because of algorithm of the aggregator, and what parameters, operational parameters like user ratings to start with, most important, and then kitchen preparation time, driver wait time, order edits, wrong item delivered. So it's extremely technical, and there is a lot of science in food delivery. So to learn that was a little challenging, and we grew extremely fast, but luckily pandemic worked in our favor for this aspect, where we had time to take those learnings of 9 months and then restart in a way that we focus on these metrics and make our model extremely customer acquisition cost light. So these were the challenges, and Indian consumer, including me, we are very dynamic. We are very chanchal. We like exploring new things. We get pissed off very easily by something that is wrong, because there are a lot of choices. So to cope up to that is very challenging, and I think we as food entrepreneurs always will remain on our feet throughout. There is nothing called as autopilot in our business. There is some or the other kind of being on feet.
So I love the fact that you spoke about things like GMV, spoke about abandoned cart ratios, and many of the other things. So what is your take on aggregators versus direct order? Because I know in the industry there are these two sides, right? People are either very pro or completely against. Where do you sit on where do you sit on the side of this?
Well, I would say that I would like to sit on the side of positivity and progress, and that's about it. It can come through aggregators or through direct ordering. The people who usually are upset with aggregators are the people who are not able to grasp how aggregators are working, are not able to understand, and they are feeling this insecurity that what if the new age entrepreneurs, or what if people who have cracked it surpass us. And that's why they are making all the attempts to slow the change, or stop the change, but the change is inevitable, and you can't stop progress. So aggregators are the one who have made it so convenient for customers, for restaurants to enable the entire cycle of food delivery. That food delivery as a name has got a standing of industry because of them. Otherwise, food delivery was also only a percentage of your sale until before 2 3 years, right? And now it's an industry. There are co-working kitchens, there are home chefs selling, there are cloud kitchens. Now there are high street companies that are large companies, want to desperately take pie of this. They are coming up with new brands every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You need to accept that this change has happened only because of aggregators, and they have helped us to mitigate a big threat. I mean, consumers would want convenience, consumers would want choices. Everyone's lives are getting busier, everyone is getting more stressed. So if not us, the ready to eat market would have taken over our business of restaurateurs. So thanks to aggregators who helped us mitigate that threat, thanks to aggregators who helped us to make this process so convenient, and order direct guys who are coming in the market are great guys. So restaurants can leverage both of them depending on whatever is convenient to them. But it's very unfair to compare the 20% of aggregator to the 3% of direct ordering, because in 20% aggregator does a lot of things. So if you really sit down and do the maths on per order level, and considering that the customer experience has to be apple to apple, then maybe you'll end up spending more in direct ordering, and the chance of customer being dissatisfied because of unbundled service, राइडर कोई और है थर्ड पार्टी का, आप उसका वेट कर रहे हो आने को, वो पिज्ज़ा कैसे लेके जा रहा है, व्हेन कस्टमर रिसीव्स समथिंग रॉन्ग और लेस, who does he catch hold of? A restaurant picks up the phone, he blames the rider, rider doesn't pick up the phone. So it's very risky, and in on demand delivery, where we are used to 30 minutes here free, we can't compete with the kind of bundled experience that Zomato and Swiggy are giving us, and they've spent millions of dollars and a lot of years on it. So it's unfair to compare both. Hands down, aggregators are much more convenient. There are certain things where aggregators can help us more by giving, let's say, consumer data in a way that their apprehension of breach of privacy of consumers is protected, so that the entire hospitality cycle gets completed. I mean, everything said and done, we are still in hospitality business. If restaurants can interact with consumers, the retention will improve. The dissatisfied customers will have a way to communicate to us, and we will have a chance to retain them. So similarly, there are a lot of things where aggregators can improve, but that's with every personal and business relationship, right, Ashwin? I mean, you can't crib about it. I mean, when someone has done something to uplift the entire industry and make a new industry, you need to be smart, you need to be dynamic, and you need to be open minded to accept it and then bring about a change. So definitely I am on the side of progress, I am on the side of optimism, and I am real. and I would like to use a mix of aggregator and direct ordering wherever whatever makes sense. I hope that answers it.
So I'm very glad to hear that because many people who I talk to one on one, they're very angry with it. Maybe, as you correctly said, that they either haven't figured out the secret sauce or they're probably worried other people are going to steal their pie. But what aggregators have done is they made the discovery process so easy.
And also, I would like to share a small thing, Ashwin. You are a businessman, I am a businessman, everyone is a entrepreneur. So, अगर partnership में नहीं जमता है, then why do we work together? So it's as simple as that. If one is not comfortable with direct order, one is not comfortable with Zomato, one is not comfortable with Swiggy, then we have a choice of stop working with them, right? If we think that we have a better option, if we think that we don't have a better option, which means that is the best option. So if something is best, why to crib about it? Secondly, leave aside people complaining about it. People who complain many a times do a lot of ads and give this companies revenue. People who complain about this companies giving a lot of discounts, they themselves enroll in 50-60% discounts on this aggregators. So I speak on my behalf that I wouldn't like to be endorsing hypocrisy where I kind of speak ill about someone on whose platform I am building my business, on whom I am giving discounts, and rather to accept it and learn other innovative ways on how to fit into your unit level economic model.
I'm very glad to hear that optimism, coming out from you because they are going to solve a very big issue. I think two issues. One is convenience and second is discovery, right? Because when you launch a new restaurant, nobody would know about it till somebody walked by or you have to pamphlet tens of thousands of people. Today, you can get discovered the next day or the same day you launch. You can actually show up on people's menus, right? So I'm loving the fact that you're very optimistic about this. So, Karan, tell me about a proud moment you've had in the journey of Ghost Kitchen.
I would say, Ashwin, that on the hindsight, when we decided to consolidate the operation during pandemic, our investors, our stakeholders were asking us question that why to shrink when we have money in the bank, etc. But on the hindsight, I am very proud that we stuck to that decision because in July we opened with only two kitchens. So from last July to this July, it took 1 year for us to prove, but we have reached or crossed pre-COVID revenue with only four kitchens versus 18 kitchens. So I think some tough decisions that you make on the back of your conviction as well as maths and logic, if that comes out to be true, you feel really proud. I think that is one moment which will always motivate me to start analyzing more and then putting the analysis to test.
That is just awesome to hear. So, Karan, I know that you have been doing a lot with young food entrepreneurs where you're kind of incubating them, advising them. Can you tell us a little bit more about that side of
Yeah, sure. I mean,
your?
Ashwin, I, along with a few of my colleagues in industry and blessings of seniors from the industry, we founded NRA Youth Committee to help young entrepreneurs take proactive measures. I was the head of NRA Youth Committee for 1 year. Then I handed over the baton to the successors. So we have always tried to help our industry colleagues in whatever small way we can. I mean, we ourselves need a lot of help even now, right? We have a lot of learnings to achieve, but we can at least tell them that what not to do and what we did and we failed, so they can at least avoid making those mistakes. So I think everyone has their own way of feeling satisfied of making a larger impact beyond their company. I think I get that kick by talking to my colleagues in the industry, those who have just started out, learning from them because I don't want to become irrelevant, and it's very easy to become irrelevant in this industry and then start putting blame on aggregators. But I don't want to become irrelevant. So when I talk to these new entrepreneurs, the way they think, I mean, yesterday I was talking to someone. They've started a cloud kitchen only to cater to binging time. So when you watch Netflix, the kind of products you might need, like popcorns or fried chicken or so on and so forth. So, they think in these lines, which also educates me a lot. And I can tell them that, what are the constraints that they might face to scale, what are the constraints they might face to be profitable. And then I also tell them that they should choose to take my feedback only by putting it to test, because every scenario is different. So, in this regard, we had an incubation focus in Yellow Tie, where we had incubated two companies, we grew them, and then we took an exit and handed it back to promoters. Uh, in Through Ghost Kitchens, it's not an incubation, but it's a partnership with Goila Butter Chicken. Everyone knows Sharansh, everyone loves Saransh and Vivek, who are the co-founders. Everyone loves the products, so they are good friends, and they thought that there was some value of brainstorming with me, and maybe if I could add a little bit of ingredient of scalability in their beautiful product. So it's art meets science, where they already have a art, and maybe I could help them a bit to scale up. And as a team, in last 1 year, we have doubled our number of stores. We are in Pune, Bangalore, and we opened two stores in London as well. So, these little things we do, and learn and put our learnings to test, and try to inclusively grow.
That is just amazing to hear. What I've learned, so I've been a mentor to many people, many companies, many startups, my own and outside. What I've seen is when I am trying to teach somebody something, I am learning so much in process, right? Like I've just recently started a blog. When I'm penning down thoughts to share, it's helping me craft my own thoughts in such a better way. When I'm sharing something with people, it forces you to put it in
No,
a model
Ashwin,
which allows you to
and
understand the scope
especially
better.
with the Gen Z, because if you tell them something, they will argue that नहीं, but हमारे वहाँ तो ऐसा ही होता है, and then it will give you food for thought that no, am I wrong? Why is he so convinced about it? And many a times you are wrong. I mean, you see them succeed, and then you. So I think the way things are changing, the way thinkings are changing, my selfish and vested interest is to learn from them for sure. There is no doubt.
So that is an amazing way of giving back as well as getting something in the process. Right? It's a win-win-win across the board. Karan, tell me about. So you've been in the cloud kitchen space. You're the go-to guy for cloud kitchen. There are various models in cloud kitchen. Can you shed some light on what the different kind of models in cloud
Yeah,
kitchen?
it's very interesting. I mean, it's been only 3 years old, and we have so many models. So one is operators like Rebel Foods. That's the epitome of cloud kitchen operator, जो अपनी brand बनाते हैं और खुद outlets lease करके grow करते हैं. The second set is people who are into co-working kitchens model. Rebel has also started to kind of give that platform to a few brands where they lease out the space in their kitchens. But there are other players in market who do the co-working kitchen, where they make an entire kitchen set and they lease out the kitchen premises. So it's the entry barrier in F&B further comes down because you have a ready plug and play kitchen. The third kind of business is operators who are operators of other brands. There is a global company which just raised a few $100 million called Kitopi. Kitopi don't operate their own brands. We have a good company by very good founders in Bombay called Kitchens with a Y, Kytchens, who do such a play. These are the few different business models, and a lot of ancillary models, small models like ex Zomato and Swiggy folks starting their consulting firm to help you understand how aggregators really work, what is funnel, what is algorithm, have started to come up. So it's so interesting that it has mobilized fresh minds in the market and brought so much of youth energy that it's going to stir the industry in next 2 3 years, and we will see the entire new breed of restauranteurs. I mean, I just wrote a LinkedIn post today morning where I told that the next breed of restaurateurs will be called internet restaurateurs or fondly I restaurateurs. So I think we will see a lot of those coming now. I mean, if you see companies like Chayos, Boxit, Rebel, Wow Momos, So they have greatly adopted this partnerships with aggregators and grown to valuations much larger than companies which are even 2 decades old and which are having global marquee investors as stakeholders. So I think it's changing immensely. There are a lot of business models erupting, but it's too risky right now because one needs to be very cautious and understand the economics and choose to start a business in the entire ecosystem, which can end of the day add value to the that 100 percentage, because 100 percentage is only that much. So it needs to be very wisely divided.
So it's making with so many different cloud kitchens concepts coming up, it's making people. It's easier to start a restaurant, like internet restaurant, right? People can start it in a matter of weeks. It's no longer months or years that you would need to start off, right? It's a matter of weeks that you can start off something new, right? So it's brought down that time to start the large capex which is required. I think that has also been grossly reduced, making.
Ashwin, you know it the best that people are starting restaurants from home, right? So there is absolutely no entry barrier per se, because listing on Zomato, Swiggy is free. You have home already. You started from home. So I think it's a big threat to larger companies. But that's the fun. I mean, you innovate your unit level economic model, you innovate your product in a way that you try to shield it to all of these issues, and then that builds a strong foundation to make a large corporation. So it's very exciting, and I really endorse the breaking of entry barrier in the industry. And I don't actually support when there are talks about making stricter norms for home chefs or street food vendors and not having them on platforms. Of course, there needs to be some kind of parity so that people like us who pay taxes, pay GST, buy licenses are not penalized. But I think the lesser the entry barrier is makes the industry much more interesting and exciting.
That is really that's fantastic news for a lot of upcoming entrepreneurs. So today afternoon itself, I spoke to an old client of mine. She operates from her home, making breads and things. We were just discussing numbers, right? And people are with me. They sometimes open numbers. She's doing upwards of 1.5 crore of revenue working from home. Like I was like blown away. I'm like, holy crap, that's awesome, right? And she's like, oh, I'm introducing this kind of thing. I'm also doing that. I'm also doing this. It's going on e-commerce. It's going
No,
on
I
here and
mean,
there.
it's
I,
so
I was,
exciting, Ashwin, and as a user, now we can order from someone who is specialized in Basque cheesecakes. Now we can get the best sardo, best ciabatta. It's insane. We can get best home henchand ice cream. It has opened up doors. It has led to a lot of innovations. It has benefited consumers, and it will keep the serious industry players like us on toes, and we should be kept on toes. And that's the fun. Whosoever can, tweak themselves and be open, will win the game. So it's very exciting.
so I think that the next game is going to be innovation. Who can innovate faster, deliver consistent product, and while delivering a consistent experience, also create new product lines, new experiences. Which
Yeah,
brings
yeah,
me to my next question: what is upcoming? Is there any new thing that you're working on that you can share? The open forum, that something coming up anytime soon, and anything new?
Well, Ashwin, to be honest, nothing exciting that I can share. One of the investors on the cap table that we have is Mr. Rana Dagubati, who is a well-renowned actor in South and Bollywood. So we might do something very quirky and interesting with him in food, and maybe we can extend that kind of a relationship further with other celebrities. So, as of now, our focus is to get the best optimized unit level economics, wherein if you even put a 20-25 percentage risk factor,
Hmm.
it will still be profitable. And we want to then scale in Mumbai and, put innovation more in the cash flows and unit level economics so that that can be the moat of our business and give us an edge over others when we scale up.
I'm so glad to hear you speaking about things like unit economics and things that, because I think that sometimes is missing, that level of the financial understanding of your deliverable. People who miss out on that, I think, miss the boat completely, right? And those are the people who find it difficult to make this work because they're not able to understand the numbers behind the game. So I'm very glad that you're on top of it. Which brings me to my next question: what is the one superpower that you have that other people may know about or not know about?
No, I think we are all normal human beings, right? So I think everyone has a superpower, but maybe I have unleashed some of mine. Someone has not unleashed some of his or hers. But I think the biggest strength I would say that I have is optimism, progression, and finding a way out. We might call it a jugad, or we might call it not saying a no or never say never, but we have to find a way out. There is no alternate, so that comes very naturally to me. I don't have to tell myself that, oh, I am in this trouble and I need to find a way out. The optimism, progression, and finding a way out, or never say never, comes naturally to me, and I think I am blessed to have it, and I'm scared of losing it.
I'm glad, so glad to hear that. So tell me a little bit about your work-life balance, right? You're doing so many different things. You're mentoring people, you're growing your own businesses, and you're working on a few other projects. So how does your work-life balance look like?
Honestly, Ashwin, I don't have a very friendly opinion on work-life balance. I mean, I tend to argue that if someone is arguing with me that you worked 16 hours a day or 18 hours a day, I watched Netflix, or I went out for 3 hours a day. So I told that you had fun 3 hours of day, I had fun 18 hours a day. So I have a better work-life balance. I think work-life balance is also a state of mind, and it is what you expect and what you get. So if my work-life balance is revolving around work and I am happy with it, my work-life balance is sorted. It's very simple. We With these jargons and big words, we make it little difficult for ourselves. But I think if someone is comfortable working 10 hours a day and going out 3 hours a day, and if they can achieve it, it's good. So I am very happy with my work life balance. I do and pursue my likings and hobbies, which is mainly sleeping whenever I get time. But otherwise, I am very happy with my work life balance.
That is fantastic to hear. So that reminds me of a quote which says, "If you love the work you do, you never work a single hour in your life." Right. So, and I think as an entrepreneur, if your passion is to learn new things, right, you are learning every day. Work for you is just another form of learning. So you're actually enjoying that entire process, right? So that I resonate with that thought so much. So I work 14-hour days, sometimes in 16-hour days. So when people look at my schedule, and it's literally like in 30-minute blocks, right? Starting at 9 and sometimes ending at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And people are like, why are you working so hard? And, don't you have this and that? I'm like, but I enjoy the process. I enjoy every single thing I do. I look forward to it because every single interaction, every single meeting, every single thing I work on actually teaches me something new, and that is what I enjoy the most. So on Sunday, you will see me on my laptop learning something new, like learning a new language. The 2 weeks ago, I was learning video editing just as a hobby. 3 weeks ago, I was learning how to draw. Right. So idea is as long as you're enjoying your life, I think your work-life balance. I think you said it perfectly. So tell me a little bit about the role of mentors in your life. Do you have mentors in your life, and how they kind of shaped it?
No, of course. I mean, mentorship as a structured format, I learned when I was with McKinsey. But everyone has mentors in their lives. It could be people who you go to ask something, or even it could be idols, like in my life, Dhirubhai Ambani. So he's a mentor of sorts, because when I read about him, and when I read about the kind of business foundations that he had. I learned from it. So mentors can be something you read, mentors can be something you follow, or mentors could be real life mentors. I do have real life mentors, and sometimes I realize that there was this XYZ fellow in my life who mentored me, but I never, in that process, in the hindsight, I never thought of him as a mentor. So I think when we are open to learn, and when we are insecure that we don't know much, we will start finding a mentor in everyone. Some of them we will reach out to for some specific thing. There are people in my life who I reach out to ask for investment advice, to ask for food related advice, and various other aspects. So my dad is a mentor, because when I see or some challenge or something is not moving, he navigates me through that personal thinking process, and hence mentors me. So I think if people are insecure about them not knowing many things, then they will tend to find mentors in lot of things, and then we'll end up finding a couple of people who will label as mentors and go to them, and which is no harm. I mean, why not? So if I have to name a few, uh, I think I've never given credibility or acknowledgement to my mentors, and thanks to you for bringing this out. I think Mr. Nitin Motwani of Everstone Capital, Mr. Ashish Saxena, who was leading Travis's Kitchen Plus business. Uh, uh, these are a couple of mentors that come top of my head, who I interact with every now and then. But besides them, there are many seniors in the industry, and many friends in the industry who I look up to for advice and.
That is fantastic to hear. Because for me, I've had till date 8 different mentors for different aspects of my life, and who've helped me tremendously avoid making mistakes. Because I feel that life is too short to make all the mistakes by yourself. You can learn from somebody else's mistakes, and people can guide you through times so that you're not making all the mistakes by yourself. Of course, you should make your own mistakes, learn from them. You don't need to make all the mistakes all over again, right? So, towards the end of our we are towards the end of our talk. So I want to quickly jump into, what does ghost kitchens look like 5 years from now? What's your 5 year plan?
Uh, So, Ashwin, again, it might sound a little not so entrepreneur like a stereotype answer, but I have one vision in mind that we need to change and make a success story of scalability of food in India. So, young entrepreneurs can dream of making their brand a McDonald's and have a Indian example to it. Currently we don't, we don't have a brand which has grown to 1000, 2000, 3000 stores in spite of such a huge captive audience. So one, I'll be very happy if I can make that impact, or I can enable that impact, if not through my company, someone else's. Secondly, we want to be kitchen to every Indian. We want to be synonymous with your own kitchens when you don't want to cook, and we want to keep growing inclusively. And I usually don't look at a 5 or 10 year horizon. I have the impact in my mind that I want to create. I always look at my business quarter to quarter, or half yearly to half yearly, बिकॉज अगले क्वार्टर का ही टारगेट पूरा नहीं होगा तो 10 साल बाद का कहाँ से होगा. So I think we all know the kind of impact we want to make, and we have broken it down in our minds, and we know the immediate requirement and attention. So I like to close my deliverables, or my checklist for every quarter first, and I'm sure that if I keep on doing that, in maybe 20 quarters, I'll achieve what I want to achieve in next 5 years. So that's how I look at it.
I absolutely love the way you kind of broke that down, saying, hey, yes, while it's important to have a 5 year, 10 year plan, live quarter to quarter, at a time, so that you're able to get there. So, my last question to you, Karan, what is the one piece of advice you'd give entrepreneur who's just starting out their journey in the food ecosystem?
Well, Ashwin, I think to give any advice and to bog them down, following that advice could be a little detrimental. But I would say that if you are coming into the industry, prepare yourself. It's a tough ride. It's not as glamorous as it looks. Like everyone in the industry would advise you. You need to keep trying. You need to be patient, and first and foremost, it's food industry. You need to sell good food. You need to enjoy selling your food to people and seeing the happiness on their faces. And this is a business which where you will grow if you fall in love with him. I mean, if you become an ashik with food business, it's a very addictive business. So if you don't feel the addiction in first year or two, maybe you are in there for a stress and might not sustain. So if you have some kind of a craziness developed, then sustain and enjoy the journey, and keep talking to people, keep seeking advice. The industry is changing in a much dynamic way. Be open. There is no need to be seclusive or secretive about what you are doing. Be open, take feedbacks. No one is going to steal anything from you. It's all on execution. So I think execution is the key word over here. So I think, yeah, Ashwin, these are few things that they can keep in mind. Otherwise, advice wise, I'm sure there are seniors like you who are available for advice.
You just called me old, in short.
No, no, no.
No. But I appreciate that. Yeah. No, so I love the fact that you said, hey, everything finally comes down to execution, right? And all the companies that I have worked with, invested in, helped grow, I think that is the key word, which is execution. So ideas are dime a dozen, right? For example, like a Just Dial, there were 10 other phone companies which gave you, information, but Just Dial executed that so well, right? There are so many other companies that have tried to do something, but the company that is able to execute it properly, sustainably, and grow, I think is the one who kind of succeeds at the end, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
thanks a lot,
absolutely.
Karan. I think that was an extremely insightful talk, and all our viewers will get so much insight from what you shared. And it was, I repeat it one more time. Thanks a lot for taking your time and coming and spending time and sharing all this with us. And we would look forward to having you again on the show later on. Hopefully, when in a year or so, when I come back, it should be 300, 500 new restaurants have been started, international restaurants have been started. So I want to wish you the very best for Ghost Kitchens. And if there's anything I can ever do to be of service, please let me know. And we'll definitely be in touch.
No, thank you very, very much, Ashwin, for having me. It was my pleasure, and it's a great initiative that you have taken. It really, testifies something that you mentioned, that you like learning new things. There is no need for you to spread the motivation to new entrepreneurs, but you yourself have broken the ceiling. That's very aspirational, and please keep up the good work. And really obliged to be here. Thank you.
So, hey guys, that was Karan Tanna, founder and CEO of Ghost Kitchens. If that was not aspirational, I don't know what is. I loved how he's grown. I loved how he's giving back to the community. And I love his enthusiasm and optimism. And I hope you guys take something away from that. We will see you on the next one. Thanks a lot and have a great day.